Hello there, it's Mike.
And Katie.
This week it's episode 157.
The one with revelations and archers.
On Cup of Rad. Hey everyone, we're back another week. We're seeping into the pores of your ears to bring you our thoughts and moments upon all the greatness that is that of pulp culture dumb. So we're still sitting here in the throes of atmospheric rivers.
It's our new hated word.
Yeah, this is a fancy, catastrophic land failure.
Me and my coworker decided, because it's a Pineapple Express, right? That sounds so happy. And it's like they needed to, because that sounds like vacation-esque, right? They needed a word that actually spelled the doom of it all.
Yeah, but it's it's not even happy though, because it's not warm enough to feel like Pineapple Express.
Exactly, right? The Pineapple Express is just the humidity.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, oh, well, it used to be something cool, but that didn't quite fit it.
No.
It seemed too nice, and it's terrible.
Yeah, so recently we were hit with another one. We're seeing more flooding and whatnot, so we're definitely in the a weird feeling for everything, because it's like...
Well, then we have another one coming up soon, too.
Yeah. And it's just wet. It's wet. Well,
the what's worse is that the ground is saturated. Everything's so unstable, which is what's causing the problem.
Totally. Right? So hopefully those that are in our area that do listen, hopefully you're safe. Hopefully you're well. Our thoughts are with you and all as we continue to be soaked, which is never a good time. But on fun, happy times, it is a new week. And this week here...
It's the last few days of November coming up. It's December.
It's the end, so it'll be the most marvelous time of the year.
Yeah.
So we did say we were going to watch something starring the Chin this last week, which we ended up not doing. Only because we started watching the...
We tried, man. We tried a solid effort of a Hallmark movie, and we're like, let's do this. You were just like... Kiddo looked at us like, what do you think your guys is doing? I don't know if I want to be here for this. We're just like, okay, we got this. And what happened?
And I failed. I failed, Mr. Papa Campbell. I couldn't even get past the first 3 minutes of the movie. We fast forwarded to the 15-minute mark, and I couldn't do it. Nope. And it didn't capture my interest. But it was a Hallmark romance, one December night. If you've been able to make it through it, Bruce Campbell is in it. He plays an aging rock star. I couldn't get over the music and the dialogue from the other actors in the scene. Bruce was great in the 2 minutes that we saw him.
Yeah.
But the rest it didn't capture our...
It's just not our vibe.
Yeah, we tried. We tried hard.
Well, because there was so much... If it had been him... right out the gate, but it was just the other ones having to try to solve their problem by then using those aging rock stars, right? And it was just like, there was just too much other things. So, that one went by the wayside.
Yeah, unfortunately, it did not work for us. So,
and are we going to learn to not try to watch any Hallmarks? Because then we ended up scrolling through the cable box and all of the on-demand Christmas movies and realized that in all of these posters, men wear green, women wear red, and they all look the exact same.
Yeah, but that's newer, and the older it was the opposite.
Oh yeah.
Remember after
some of them we found
after before 2017 there was more of the women in the green and the men in the red, and after 2017 it swapped, and it was so all weird.
But either way, they all look the same then.
Yeah.
In big chunks, and some of them. It's a whole line of movies, and they all look the same. They all have the same random word bank of things that they choose from. And if you like those movies, awesome. That's more power to you. Enjoy, of course, what you like. I can't wrap my head around how they actually can convince so many people to make the same movies over and over again. But it's... I don't know. I don't get it myself.
No. So we tried. We tried to have an open mind, but it didn't fly. It didn't fly with us. So we move on to other things.
Yeah.
One thing that we were excited for this week was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Revelations.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's just Masters of the Universe Revelations. Revelation, I guess. Revelation.
Yeah.
So part 2 dropped this last week. And that's what we're really going to talk about this week. That was our main focus. We didn't watch a whole lot of other stuff.
No, that was really, it was a couple TV shows, and that was like, this was that and Christmas decoration.
Yeah, it was a pretty mellow week. So, Revelation. Last we heard, Adam had died. Skilligod had taken the power of Grayskull and shanked poor Adam, and we were left for months of wondering what has just happened.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right? I still stand that I absolutely loved how fast paced that Revelation Part 1 was. I got a lot of fun watching that. It really brought back some fun He-Man memories.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
So I was in the boat of I can't wait for Part 2. So Part 1 dropped in August or July?
Sure.
Or June?
I think it's July.
I don't know. It sometime, it was
in the summer.
It felt like years ago. It was like, forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Or was it early August? I don't know. It was in July. It was in the summer.
And so then we got Part 2. So Part 2 opens with finding out that Adam, who did not die, being whisked away from the power of the sorceress, and Tila and all of them, they get taken away to another place, but Skelegod's able to track it.
It was pretty intense, though. There was a lot that happened. Like, each one of these episodes were super action-packed, and there was a lot that actually fit in the short time frame that they actually have. So the first episode was insane. It was
pretty amazing, because we got to see Adam call down the power of Grayskull.
Well, we also, was that when Evelyn got her transformation?
Not in the first episode.
No, I don't know.
No, the first episode was when he called down the power and became Savage He-Man.
Okay, I know. I wasn't sure if she became the new sorcerer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, if that's what you're meaning, yeah.
See, it all kind of blends together.
You said call down her power.
No, I said, okay.
So,
never mind.
I thought you were meaning that other thing.
Go ahead.
But yes, Skelegod gives Evelyn the power of the sorceress.
Yeah, so he's trying to replace everyone in Castle Grayskull. Okay,
yeah, so. And what did you think of that?
The sorceress?
Well,
everything.
Her as the sorceress.
I loved her outfit. My first thought was, I want that as a figure. I want all of the Evelyns as figures. But I really liked her outfit.
The Bat God thing.
But it was so different and such a different take on the sorceress, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But Skelegod was so overpowered, like so powered, and just totally drunk on that power.
Yeah.
And he, it was interesting how he never even gave her a chance or anything. He seemed like, I'm going to bestow this gift on you, but you're actually cursed.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you. So it just was the stepping stone of him just showing how evil he really was in this, which was impressive.
Yeah, he wasn't as much of a joke in this as he was in the original stuff. He was very much more scary for his maniacal back dealing and stealing. Yeah. And
but they really just trash. I mean, they just take over Grayskull, and the idea of the sorceress just letting herself go. She was holding on for so long to be able to transfer them. And then it was impressive then to show that connection that she has to Tila, and like the sticking around to be able to give her that last bit of power, and how strong her power and connection really is for Tila to have just picked this up suddenly, right? Yeah. And that healing aspect, like, was pretty impressive.
Well, I'm assuming with the sorceress passing, then it was like the final essence and went to Tila, right?
Yeah, and then it was cool to then see that her spirit stayed around long enough for Tila to heal Adam, and then it was like, okay, well, now I can pass. Like, I can't leave this place undefended. So that was her last. Like, it was almost
she
a
kept
bit
her
of her
champion alive.
Yeah, a bit of that, right? Which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, that led to such an awesome storming of the gates of Adam showing back up and surprising.
Oh, well, we did
right?
we did also get before that though. We got Clamp Champ.
Oh yeah.
Who yelled Wu Tang?
Oh yeah.
And Fisto, Decimus Prime's #1 dude, because we all know about that, because we love Decimus Prime.
Yep.
And his love of big-fisted men. It's just because we love Decimus Prime. He's just so fun as a being. So I give him a hard time about the big fist.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. I just don't understand the character. Like, I think it's so funny.
Decimus Prime. Jesse's the
first.
Does he
have a reason why?
I don't know. I haven't really fully asked that.
I would like to know. I would like to know why you like the big fist.
But like I've never had someone like talk about Fisto with so much passion.
Yeah.
So then.
So I mean, yeah, that's great. I mean, whatever. There must be a reason for a connection. I just was curious.
Yeah. But I can't believe that Kevin Smith was able to sneak in. I want to fist him. That was a joke that was so hard because I was laughing and Kiddo was just like,
what is happening? I'm like, just let it happen.
Yep. Just laugh and just
smile and nod and just
say it sounded ridiculous. Say was that sounded kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, who met their demise in that episode?
Yeah. Then all hell broke loose there. That was intense. They what was it? Fire on them or like acid or
it was a bomb. A bomb. Andrea.
That's what it was. That was pretty intense. Like they just literally turned to skeletons, and Kiddo was like, "Whoa." That was dark.
Yeah, well, because they were taken over by Skelegod's power.
Yes.
So they were not there. They were not them.
Like zombie people.
Yeah.
That was pretty intense. Like, because then it just shows how his power was growing. Yeah. Right. That was an interesting to show the manipulation in such a different mind frame of what the power is capable of being.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it showed then also too where someone that does not have care for the world or care for them around them,
mm-hmm.
that's where the power is, like you said, manipulated and changed mm-hmm. for power versus defense.
Well, and it's that idea too that power in real life, even too, power is only as good as the person who wields it, mm-hmm. right? And this is just that perfect example of it.
Yeah, it was the
power is not good or bad. It's the person that uses it is either good or bad.
Yeah, so it showed how good of a mm-hmm. being Adam is, and I think it really did show how much of a hero Adam really was at the core of it. The entire part 2 is very much that ode to Adam is such a good person that he's able to wield this.
Adam is the hero, not He-Man.
Yeah,
He-Man is just the device that Adam uses in order to be the hero, right?
Exactly.
And yeah,
it's the costume.
Yeah.
Right? It's the costume he wears.
The confidence and the strength that he has, but the spirit is the thing that actually allows him to use that strength for good, right?
Yeah.
So
without being corrupted and turned into something dark and evil.
So what was your reaction to the raw naked power?
That was amazing.
Adam there.
Watching Savage He-Man and Skeletor. He was like the Hulk. Yeah. Like he literally just like tearing through there with Skelegod and just like the pounding, the beating that he was giving him was just intense and amazing.
Like
I was just like the only thing that first went through my head was that they've shown the toy shots of Savage He-Man, and I'm a little disappointed that they just are going with the standard body shape for Savage.
Yeah, he needs to be
the Skelegod size.
Yeah.
The Skelegod, like his Skelegod's oversized. He's like an 8-inch.
Okay, then it should have been the same way.
So they should have made a big Hulk He-Man like that, because he was full on Hulk mode.
Like gorilla or something.
Yeah.
Right?
It was like Tarzan meets the Hulk.
Yes.
Right. And that was cool to see. It was sad to see though how much there wasn't the control though later on when he got out of there, right? That raw power surging through him. Mm-hmm. He became an animal.
Yeah.
And goes after King Randor.
Yeah, that was intense. I was like, oh my God, what? Because at this point, with them killing those heroes, I know that they weren't like they were still masters, I guess. But I mean, they killed people, and I was
quick,
like,
right?
are they going to kill him? Like, I actually was questioning whether they were going to do that or not. Like, okay, well, how? I'm sitting here thinking, how could this help the story along? Like, would this actually help? And I was expecting them to do it. And I was like,
the scene was so dramatic and so well acted by Diedrich Barter, right?
Yeah. I was so proud of him, because there's so many times where something like that happens and you can see the path forward of what to fix, and they're not doing it, and I'm sitting there screaming at the TV, and that never was the case. He just stepped up and became the king and the man and the father that he should have been all along, and just did what he needed to, and all of a sudden it was clear, and I was just like, oh, thank you. Like, I didn't have to yell at the TV once. You just did what you were supposed to.
Right?
I was so proud of you. So
no, that was super cool.
Kiddo was very emotionally moved by that scene. It was nice to see. He was very touched by it. He was actually tearing up a little bit, actually, because it shows.
Yeah, Kevin Smith, your team made a 12-year-old boy cry.
Yeah, geez, I
mean,
it shows how well it was done. Yeah, right. It was put together right. It was acted beautifully. It was very well
because
done,
there wasn't a lot of animation. It was literally just the dialogue and how the dialogue was delivered, right?
Yeah.
And
well, because I was waiting for when it originally started happening, I was waiting for his mom to show up, because his mom was the one that had the connection with him, and I was expecting his mom to intervene and to calm him down. And the fact that his dad did was a surprise, and such a wonderful surprise. Yeah, and it shows then that was where his anger was. That last bit of anger and guilt and frustration was kind of the idea of what was holding him onto that, right? And so that was just really beautiful. So.
Yeah, I think it was the idea too, where he got a second chance for the fact that he thought his son was dead and now he's back, right? Even though he almost died a second time.
Because it would have been so easy for him to just treat him like a monster and just treat him like a threat that needed to be put down. Yeah. And I think by him not doing that, it showed a lot of change and growth with Randor, right? So
I showed then that I'm glad then he had found out that Adam was He-Man, because otherwise that scene wouldn't have worked.
Yes.
Right? So
his mom did show up.
Yeah.
I don't like her voice. I didn't like the way she was acting.
She was fine in part 1.
Yeah.
But she sounded too Valley Girl.
Too Valley Girl. Like when she actually said, what, my butt or something like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? What the hell is this? And it was like, oh yeah, wait, no, okay, this is
Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, I like it. Just
some of the lines were deleted. There was some lines
just
that
those ones that it totally ruined it.
But it was weird because they talked about the fact of being from Earth.
Yes,
and like
that was weird.
That was like, wait a minute, what?
Because then they were just like casual. By the way, like. It's just we're gonna return back to Earth. What? So is his mom from Earth? And is like that the reason why she was kind of meant to sound like that? Yeah.
I don't know. I've never gotten that deep into the Masters mythos
version of Alicia Silverstone. Right? Like it was strange. So
someone knows.
That was my only problem. Like other than that, she was a total badass. Like it was awesome that she was a warrior and she was a pilot and all this stuff. That was really cool. But those few lines where she sounded like Valley Girl and like a teenager, was just super weird.
Out of character feeling for someone with like the gray and just like the realness, right?
But I like that she was real about the difficulty that their marriage was in with losing Adam and what was happening and everything.
Yeah, it got deep with the talk about how like the death of Adam and the strain of her knowing and him not knowing.
Yeah,
caused them almost to split up.
Yeah, like that was really the intensity of that. Like that scene was great then with that character and the emotion involved with all of that, right? But
yeah, so there was a lot going on with just in the first few episodes.
Well, yeah.
When we got to the third episode is when Beastman steps up and really starts talking to Lynn about, when he was so wise compared to how he's been portrayed before.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Kevin Michael Richardson just did a fantastic job with the delivery of those lines.
Well, like you actually felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Like you actually felt like you wanted him to have a win.
Yeah.
And that was impressive.
And what was sad was then he doesn't win. He ends up falling because he does exactly what he's trying to preach to Lynn not to do. Mm-hmm. Right. Like the idea that don't follow Skeletor, he's just manipulating you and using you, and he's no good for you. You're his punching bag. And then at the end of the day, it shows that cycle of trauma. Yeah. Trauma breeds trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a commentary in itself, right? And you just feel terrible for him.
Yeah.
Because then he just gets used, and because he's just sticking around, right?
Yeah.
And
because he wants to serve someone that doesn't view him as their equal, and just sees him as a tool. Yeah. Right. So the same way Skeletor sees Lynn. Yeah. So, it's that weird commentary, and seeing that in a cartoon of the trauma breeds trauma. Right?
Yeah. Well, it shows the depth and the understanding of these characters that has been put into the show. Yeah. Right.
Well, actually wanting to make the show feel like something, not just filler episodes
well, because it isn't something that's made for kids, this necessarily. It's originally it is preaching to someone our age, and it needs to have lessons that are more relatable to us. That's what it should have. Right. It has things that kiddo can understand and that type of stuff, but it's not supposed to be like the play nice with your friends, kids mentality, and those types of dealing with, commentary on following a bad group, or, what you do. Those are all commentaries on more adulthood, right?
Yeah. So in that third episode, though, we got to see Skeletor and Lynn have...
Oh, that was weird.
A little something.
I mean, it was fine, but it was awkward with kiddo next to me.
What was their favorite pastime?
Oh, what was the wording on that?
I can't remember what it was. I can't remember. Our other favorite pastime.
Yeah, it was just like, I want to take part in our other favorite pastime, because it was, one of them was like beat bad guys, and then she says that, and I was like, oh goodness, what's happening?
You got to depower because you're just going to destroy me in this form,
and
right?
like there was like so many well-placed words of like innuendos with that, right? Everything they said was an innuendo, and like talking about getting, feeling a pointing of a stick or a sword or something like that.
Do you get my point?
Do you get my point? And like all this, I was like, oh goodness.
And then so he depowers for that booty call.
Well, you know what I love though? Is she's just like, you gotta do power. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't even a question. It wasn't like, she's trying to trick me, or I don't want to give this up. It's just like, yes. I was like, wow, there in itself is a commentary on men. Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
Skeletor is a bonehead.
And it's also that idea though, and the reality of how manipulative women can be. Yeah. Right? I mean.
But that was awkward though, because I was not expecting to see...
she straddled him,
and I was just like, and that's when he said, "Do you get my point?" Yes.
Right? And I was just like, oh goodness.
And like kiddo just like looking at us like he's looking a little embarrassed, like, guys, are we gonna watch these cartoon characters like in his words do romance stuff,
right? Kudos on not as soon as he depowers though, she doesn't take long to actually finish what she originally planning to do, and just
takes the sword.
Yeah, it's not like she continues on further, right? It's just like yoinks. Yeah. And I love how shocked he looks. Like, what the hell?
What?
I was gonna get some, and then this is happening? Like, what is happening?
Yeah. only to have her take the power for herself, and she got buff.
That was
godly.
Insane. Yeah. That was a really cool outfit though. Yeah. So I like all of her different outfits. So
you just want
like a little evolution of Evil Lynn outfits.
From Revelation.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really cool.
Well, it was pretty wild to see all that, come together like that. And, it was definitely like, because the fact that she had seen the edge of time and realized that chaos, there is nothing.
That was pretty intense, because here Skelegod is planning on basically like looking, it got so cosmic, staring into the edge of the universe, and how Eternia is going to be in the center of everything, and there's going to be this massive power up, and like they're staring off into the cosmos, and like that was intense. It got very
metaphysical.
Yes.
I was expecting them to talk about the multiverse at that point, just because that's like the hot topic button with right? pop culture right now. Like everything's a multiverse. So like when they first started talking about all the aligning and all that, I was like expecting to be like, it's going to breach about the Masterverse, and I was like, wait, are they gonna go? Is that what they're gonna try to do? Is it gonna be like part 3 is gonna be like the Masterverse where like Skelegod's gonna keep the power and like try to go to other Masterverses to take the power to accumulate more power to truly become Skelegod? That's where I was expecting it to go. Yeah. So when it was just like, no, it's just chaos and I'm gonna la la.
Yeah.
Right. It showed how small-minded Skeletor was.
Yeah.
Only to have Lynn.
Well, and that's what she was kept going on. It's like, you have all of this stuff, and yet all you care about is killing He-Man.
Yeah.
And she was just so frustrated with him, and then overwhelmed with the nothingness, the meaninglessness of it all, because Skeletor, in her mind, was so petty and meaningless in his endeavors. And she just got so overwhelmed with it. And it was interesting because she could tell she was lost then. It was I need the power for myself, but at the same time, she needs people to follow, and it was just, she just didn't know what to do, right?
So she's going to destroy it all.
Right?
So then you got Tila starting to play with her power, right?
Yeah.
And we find out that Duncan, who did not die.
Yeah, what did you think of that, kind of comeback for him? And then I liked it was cool how he was kind of making friends, and the way he even talked to Skeletor, and because of course, he's in the dungeon, but he is really, and Evelyn just very wise about and calm in his demeanor.
Well, it was nice because he wasn't panicking. He was just like, well, if you may as well just kill me. Like, if you're not gonna, and they're like, well, you're powerless. You're weak now. How are you the most dangerous person in Eternia?
Yeah.
Like, you're not. Like,
So what's the point then?
Yeah.
Right?
So this is more torment for you to have to deal with this, right? And which was kind of interesting to see, right? Like,
but it shows that it was still his mind. It's not just his weapons.
He was calculating, right?
Yeah, still taking advantage of the situation, and he was able to get out by not, causing further pain to something, right? And taking advantage of it.
Seeing a beast that they themselves, the masters, had imprisoned, and realized that they were causing it pain by imprisoning it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Tila, here she is reaching out to everyone because they're basically like, we need everyone to help fight. So she's trying to broadcast this message out to everyone. And so in the hopes that everyone in the world basically is going to come to their aid, which was a who knows what it was going to work type thing.
Yeah, if it even did, right? Like,
yeah.
Like she's trying to use that sorceress power. Because then you find out that Evil Lynn has destroyed Preternia.
Yes, that was so. Yeah, when she first powers up, right, and she makes herself, here she's extra powered. She's not only now has the sword, but she's got just extra super strength.
She's got the sorceress's power.
She has the sorceress, so she's made herself her own champion.
Yeah.
And now she shows up in the clouds like some mystical, Mufasa.
Yeah.
And broadcasts herself to the whole world, and then says, basically, we're not going to worry about heroes anymore. And she kills off all the souls basically from Preternia. I was like, holy crap! Like.
And that's the thing, it shows them they're evil, because earlier too, Skeletor had captured the souls of all the people that he had turned into beasts and was toying with them with his own, right? So it shows that like they're evil.
Yeah. Right. And it's not a joking thing. I mean, she just, all these souls that helped people feel so comfort were just gone, right?
Yeah.
So it was even more intense because we had actually seen all of it and seen how calm they were and how happy they were and all this stuff. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, they're all gone now. Oh my goodness.
They did.
So
then you have Skeletor, because he's been depowered, he's been captured. He comes and talks to them. And so he shows up at the at Randor's fort basically. And Adam's like, okay, yeah, we need to talk to him. So they formulated a plan, and the whole plan is basically to storm the castle. So they head in there, just Skeletor and He-Man, right? Or Skeletor and Adam.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I think was amazing to see, that, Adam not having power, and this goes back to what I said before, the idea of Adam not having power shows the hero that he truly is.
Yeah.
And He-Man's his suit of armor, right? It's his disguise.
Yeah. But Adam was still the one making the decisions and the choices and the strategizing and thinking and feeling of everything, right?
Right. And then that was the thing that was really cool about that, I thought. I was like, this is pretty awesome to see them really give, Adam not just be annoying. Like, you could see that when they did the 2K series, they were trying to show that it was more, but this was definitely more of like in the light of like, no, he's learning all the time, and he is truly a champion.
Yeah.
So then having Skeletor and Adam attack this evil Lynn,
right,
with Battle Cat and with Cringer and Panther, right?
Yeah, that was a really cool shot.
Yeah, to have them come in. And while that's going on, then we have, of course, Tila and Andrea and go to trying to get into the bottom, because the whole idea is that they need to find basically where the sorceress chamber is.
Yeah.
Reinvigoration chamber.
Because that's the only way she's going to connect to her power more,
the true
right?
power, right?
Yeah.
So we get that whole scene where Tila gets in there and becomes...
Well, yeah, she actually starts, she connects more and understands, kind of has more of a conversation with the sorceress about what needs to actually be done. And the sorceress is telling her all this, you have to be separate, you have to be disconnected. That's why I had to give you up, was because you couldn't have any tether, basically, to anyone. This is essentially your prison, but it's the sacrifice that has to be made for this power. And it's definitely a lonely thing. Like, it's sad that I understand that she believed that, but it was impressive to see Tila basically like, well, no, this has just caused pain. Yes, you had power, but this was loneliness and heartache for other people. And there has to be a better way to find that power. And lo and behold, friendship is magic. Connection to other people will make you stronger, right? So that was cool that she decides finally to, take her bath in these magical waters and make this connection. But instead of being
tethered to Grayskull,
she's going to maintain that connection. She can still be, the protector and the conduit of the power, but with those connections with people. And that's what Tila needed, because Tila, the whole story and journey she was on, was just running away and disconnecting, because if I don't connect with people, then I can't be hurt by people. Well, that wasn't what she needed, you know. She needed to feel grounded and feel involved with people and know what she was fighting for, because she had lost that up there, right? And I think that was impressive, because I mean, with the sorceress originally, when she did become that way, she felt like, well, she did have something. She had a child and a man she loved that she was at least fighting for the world. So, but Tila didn't really have that. She didn't want to have that separation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought that was really cool. So she then powers up, and that was really awesome.
Yeah.
To see that transformation. So.
It was cool too, because, on one part, it shows almost like that when you don't almost have the full picture of something, which I thought was kind of interesting. Evelyn made her assumptions without asking more questions, and got mad about that, versus digging in and finding all the truth.
Yeah.
Where Tila was endowed with all the answers, so she could see it from a different point of view, a different angle, to be able to say, no, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Right. And it was kind of an interesting almost commentary on our world now.
Yeah.
Right. Where you only take the chance to see a bit.
So are you talking about Evelyn's, like, her vision that she saw?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that was cool. Here she is having this dream, and it's almost the powers, right? You had, what was it? We had the ram.
The ram. There was a snake.
We had the snake, and then the falcon, the hawk or whatever, right?
Yeah,
and the falcon, yeah. And to her, it was just like everyone just killing everything, and she just sees the snippet, right? But then when Tila does bring her, out there, that was cool, because when they start battling, then, when they are fighting, it was her, Evelyn thinks that she's transformed, brought them to this other location, but Tila was like so calm and confident, and was like, no, I brought you here, like, I need to show you something, I'm the one in the control. And the reminder that whatever power Evelyn has, Tila actually is the one that did the proper connection to that source of power the way that it's supposed to be, and so she is technically stronger than her, right? So So.
And that's what I was just saying. Like, it's just interesting. It's almost like our world, though. We only take a snippet and we get angry and enraged and outraged. Yeah. But the more you dig into it,
took more time,
or you like.
Well, yeah, that's why she was able to show her. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And be like, talk her off the edge. And because I like, it was cool with her. She she didn't just defeat her by sheer power, because then Tila didn't have to be the stronger person, the stronger magic, or, you know, kill her or something like that. She actually solved the problem by talking and changing her mind and showing her a better path, and showing her that you didn't have to destroy everything. And this was really what it was supposed to be, because this is the chaos and the that happened before there was actual life. So here's all this life, and being able to show her that, then it was, oh, okay, well, then I was wrong in my beliefs. And it actually was able to change her mind. And I thought that was a cool way to show her power then. Yeah. It was through wisdom and intelligence. It wasn't through might. Yeah. You know?
So totally. So while all that's going on, you found out that Adam had gotten the sword, got his power back, shared the power with Skeletor.
Yes.
Because the king and the Avions and the I can't remember. Bee people? I can't remember. Yeah. I was going to say Neutrions, but that's wrong. They're all, and everyone from Eternia are fighting the Shadow Beasts.
Yes.
And Scareglow.
Because, yes, she brought that realm up to play.
Yeah. So they're all battling out there for their lives. And He-Man and Skeletor go out there as their powered up forms, basically. And they battle side by side the Shadow Beasts. And who comes back? Who decides to battle Scareglow?
So then we have this scarf that shows up, which was pretty awesome ways to show this little like piece of material going around. And Orko, because of course he was also down there, is brought back to the, you know, middle plane, we'll call it, instead of Earth.
He becomes Orko the White.
And
well, actually, no, sorry. Orko showed up before He-Man got his power back.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I apologize.
Because there was a lot going on. But Orko showed up,
Orko showed up to battle Scareglow, but then you find out that Orko had separated himself into
He's in like a whole bunch of different places.
He helped Man-at-Arms and Andrea. And then he battles Evil Lynn to get the sword, and that's how Adam gets the sword back. Sorry, I put it up. But then it shows that how powerful he really was.
Yeah, now he's, you know, instead of being all bumbling and everything, now, he's split his essence and he's turned into like Orko God. Yeah. And is doing all this stuff to help everyone. And that was really cool to see. So fortuitous, because he changed everything because of the sword, right? And getting He-Man back his power.
Yeah. So that was pretty incredible to see. And it was nice to see Orko turn around from just being a bumbling one stick fool to being
definitely the most I've ever enjoyed him.
Super needed. And it was awesome. I think it was pretty terrifying when he battling Scareglow, and because the Scareglow was all, you know, King's fear is the greatest, taste the best and all that. So then Orko's like, well, you know, the King of Fear's fear must taste even sweeter, right?
Right. Like, it was like, oh wow, he's got intense.
Right. And then so that was really cool to see. Yeah. And then when you fast forward a bit to then when He-Man and Skeletor are battling the Shadow Beast, only to have Skeletor
double cross
because he's the one trick pony.
Because I still have to kill He-Man.
Right. So then
it shows it was kind of with that he's still a bad guy in the core. Yeah. You know, nothing had changed his mind, opposed to say Lynn, who was able to be, you know, she was much more rational. She was just angry and defeated and lost. And I mean, definitely evil, but because she also didn't understand the point of it all. So it was like, well, you got to think bigger. It's just a different vibe, different path for them. But yes, very much of, as you say, one trick pony for Skeletor.
Right. So we get an awesome action scene, He-Man battling the Shadow Beasts and with on Battle Cat, and there was just some really cool animation.
There was another thing with Cringer even too. You know, how they showed Adam being so much of a hero. I liked how Cringer was actually embracing and trying. It shows that he learned from being Battle Cat as well, that it was important to stand up no matter what. Exactly. And he had the same feeling as Adam, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he was the one that was actually helping everyone. He was the one that saved the day for so much. So.
Oh, totally. So it was pretty awesome. So by the end of it, kind of everything goes back to normal-ish.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of interesting to have at the very end Tila and Skeletor. Tila and Adam. It's Calendar Man all over again.
I was gonna say, really, what's Tila and Skeletor doing?
Whoops, wrong streaming. Tila and Adam, you know, they touch hands and they both blush, and so there's like that budding romance.
Yeah.
Kind of in the background, and then we get that.
I was really happy they didn't actually kiss, though.
Oh, totally.
Because it would have been so cliche, and I like that wasn't the case.
That needs to come in part 3 if there's a part 3.
Yes,
because they did show a few things in this that gives you ideas of a part 3 and who should be in part 3.
Yeah.
In Evelyn's backstory, so when Skeletor shows up, he's got a belt from Horak.
Yeah,
he's wearing that. I was expecting him to look like Keldor.
Yeah, that was only a sad thing, is I was hoping he was Keldor.
But it shows them that they decide not to take that path with him to be, you know. But at the very end, Skeletor's back at Snake Mountain, ragging on Trapjaw and Triclops.
For being like, what the hell, why are you in with this motherboard, right?
Yeah.
What have you done to my precious mountain, basically?
Yeah. And then Motherboard attacks Skeletor.
Yeah.
Only to reveal it was Hordak all along.
Dun dun dun.
So it ends on a cliffhanger. So I hope we get a part 3.
Well, because you get Andrea becomes Man-at-Arms as well. Everything's getting back to normal there. You have the sorceress actually attending that ceremony, so it shows that Tila can leave, which is awesome, right? So everything just it's happy. But it definitely is a cliffhanger where it ends on and will they actually be able to do Hordak in this series?
Right. Because it's like
everyone hints at it, but never gets to.
It's like the 2K. We never got the 4th season with the Hordak adventures. We just got the teases of Hordak stuff and the build up. Right, and now we're getting build up again for Hordak.
Yeah,
and. You know, if you're going to give us the foreplay, please finish.
Yeah, geez.
Because I really hope that this does well enough that Netflix greenlights part 3 or 4.
Well, I definitely want to go back and watch them, you know, even if it's more individual episodes. Yeah. Because it was just so good. And again, talking about it right now is that reminder of how well it was done. Yeah. So I'm excited to be able to watch it again soon.
Yeah.
So.
It's exciting to watch it all as one movie, though.
Yeah. Well, because there's so much happening, right?
It'd be interesting to almost watch all of it again.
Oh, the whole
without a break.
Series. Yeah, and see if it's as much of like the, you know, kind of without that giant break there to see. Yeah. The vibe for it. So
do you think that Netflix made a mistake by breaking it into 2 parts?
With such a large break, I think so. If it had been like even a little bit of time frame, but at the same time, I gave too many people a chance to speculate and get angry about the fact that He-Man wasn't going to be in it at all. And I think if they had...
But like
I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna be curious. But, so like this could piss some people off. But whose fault is that though? Like, is that your own expectations and your inability
totally
not to be able to sit back and
But the
wait?
Problem is our world is like that, right? It's the reality of it that there's demonstrated
give it to
ability.
Me now or not at all.
They need it now, and people fan cast everything and put expectations on everything and get so angry about things, right?
Yeah.
I myself, you know, have a much more trust of like, well, we want to see what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was difficult. I think if they had actually just split it up so that we were like, say, weekly episodes, it would have been better because it would have been okay. Well, what's going on? But okay, I get an extra week, that type of thing, or just everything. I would like the world to calm down and let things happen and see what a story has to be said. But I think the unknown time frame of when things that were going to be, because there's so much action in the second half of it. And it was definitely really rewarding. Mm. But I wish, I hope, what I hope is that the people who freaked out about all of it would learn from this.
Would get the chance.
And be like, oh, I needed to calm down and not just go off on, you know, what's happening and just assuming where the path is going, or that it's not going to be my own thing. But I would like the fan base in general for so many of these places to learn to be more receptive, to at least see the whole thing before you make the judgment. If you still hate it, then fine.
Yeah.
You can hate it. That's cool. But see the whole vision before you make that jump. Seeing, half of it was
that would be like, in the reality, be like watching Infinity War and not watching Endgame.
Yes, right. Exactly. Then you can only
getting so mad about that.
You can be
only
so angry when you've made the choice to not watch the rest of it. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you didn't get to see it right away, but we don't have any patience in our society now, because streaming, and they've set it up that way, and they've created a monster because of it. Right.
Yeah. Which is sad, because I say, like, it's the cliffhanger.
Like, I loved binging. I loved being able to watch the whole thing like that, which was great. I myself, it was nice to be able to say, have it those 2 parts, because we could watch it in one night. All of them we wouldn't have been able to watch in a whole night.
No.
So this was great. It was much easier,
digestible.
Yeah.
Because it was only a couple hours, right?
But I don't know. I would have been okay if it was a weekly drop too. I
do enjoy weekly drops. I really do enjoy weekly drops.
Like Mandalorian, that was awesome because it
gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah. And then it is the fact that, there isn't people who can binge 10 hours of TV. So I wouldn't be able to do it. And then there's a world of spoilers. So I think the system is, I wish they would train people out of having to need something right away.
Well, I think that's what Disney Plus is trying to do.
Yeah.
But
so
it's not.
I hope that trend.
And Amazon's trying to do that too.
So Netflix needs to get in line.
But they're not going to, because they've said, well, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. But.
Right. We'll drop things in parts over the year. Right.
Yeah.
But,
which I guess is still somewhat better. But it's going to have.
But it causes moments like this, right? Where it's like, well, I didn't like how that part went, so.
Yeah.
But that at the same time, if it doesn't, then you just walk away and run it. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the series from start to finish.
Oh yeah.
I think it was fantastic.
I think there was great animation, good depth and understanding the characters.
So much,
and so much change, right? So.
It really gave all the characters that were in it. Granted, there weren't a lot of masters in it. That's my one gripe.
Yeah.
I think it was called Master of the Universe, but it.
I like the use of Ram Man where she drops him from the plane.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
Danny Triage.
Yeah.
Shows up.
Right.
I was surprised about the lack of masters in it, right? More than Adam getting shanked a couple times.
Yeah.
I was actually more sad about the lack of.
It shows how much they fell apart then.
Or lack of.
They had no He-Man, right? They didn't have Man-at-Arms, and with Skeletor gone, it was like they didn't really need that. They didn't have.
Well, Randor went crazy, I guess, and just.
Yeah, they all just dismantled everything, right? So, Mad King,
right? But no, I totally dug it. Like I'm excited. I'd be in for a third part.
Totally.
So I really hope that Kevin Smith and his crew get a chance to do more with the world that they've built, because it ends on another cliffhanger, just like all He-Man series do. Yeah. Right? They just end, and then you're like, but there's more. Come on, give us another. Yeah.
Well, because the motherboard thing was weird to me.
Yeah.
But it's interesting then how would they weave that in with Hordak?
Yeah.
Like, what would be the purpose of why he chose that form? It was like a Brainiac thing, right? So it's like, there's questions that need answers.
Exactly. So, Masters of the Universe, Revelation, totally worth it on both our ends. Our cups are full with having the power.
So, in addition to Revelations, what other new TV show came out that you were very excited for?
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I didn't know you hit record. I was like, wow, you're so calm. What's going on? Hawkeye came out on Disney Plus. It is what appears to be a torch show, bringing Kate Bishop into the fold, and Hawkeye.
Well, Hawkeye's so worn down from the events of everything. And Infinity War and Endgame and everything, right?
So totally. So it's kind of cool to see that, her wide-eyed, like, hero mentality and where she started.
That was so cool seeing the events of New York in 2012 from the eyes of someone that was there and a little kid then watching the Avengers. And
exactly.
And it was such an easy way to give her reason as to why she likes and appreciates and got into archery, because the first hero she saw was Hawkeye, and he was being total badass.
Exactly.
And it was like, look what he can do, and he's just a human.
Yeah.
He has no special powers. He just works his ass off. And I thought that was a really cool way of showing her backstory, right?
So, right. And then you've got the montage of her training all the different things that she knows really and cool. All that. Like, I don't think it's getting enough credit, but the arc that it's based on, the credit is really going to Matt Fraction, the writer. But the styling of the show for the credits and that scene and all that was actually in the art style of David. I'm going to butcher it, but AJA is how it's spelled. So
Aja or Aja?
Aha, maybe, or Aja. I don't know. I don't know how it's actually said.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
I don't claim to. We're terrible with names, like Calendar Man. I mean. But his whole styling is the marketing and everything, and his name I really do feel should be on that
higher than it is,
than anything.
It's not just his writing.
It's in a special thanks in like the very end credits.
Well, that's weird.
It should be on those opening credits.
Yeah, the same with Fraction then.
Right. So I know Fraction is an executive producer, so that's helps.
Why.
But I think for the fact that they're using that marketing and
well, because it's unfair to act as if a graphic novel, the art is not also just as important as the words. That's unfair, right? So
it's a visual styling, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not,
So I liked how the story was, it didn't feel forced of how they came together. It felt like it made sense how it happened. You have enough intrigue of like what's happening with her mom and the rich corrupt people apparently, and stumbling across this auction they're having, and the Ronin costume shows up, and it's just that coincidence that Hawkeye happens to be in the city, and it's like, well, crap, I got to get this off the streets, because it's going to cause problems. And so it wasn't like she sought him out somehow, or he was like tempted to want to get back into something. It was like, oh shit, I got to clean this up.
Yeah.
So I really liked the way that it all came together,
blended together,
and all the series of unfortunate events that led to everything, right? So
yeah, no, I was smiling ear to ear for this. We weren't originally going to watch both episodes on one night, but I was too excited. We ended up watching both episodes.
Oh look, Katie, my finger slips.
Because I was just having a blast with it, because it was nice to see that all kind of play together, right?
Yeah.
And we got to finally have, the idea of Hawkeye having a hearing aid, because he does have those in the comics.
I love that why you have one, and then there's like a little quick montage of all the explosions, and I was like, this was awesome. It was just like, quick 10 seconds to show, oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
The reality of being around all that,
being a human,
would make
without superpowers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the
that opening scene, with him at the Rogers musical was like painful.
Oh yeah,
I felt so bad for him.
I love though. Dad, do you have your hearing aid off?
What?
Oh, what? Yeah, no, that was really good. I do like that they get you. They brought the Tracksuit Mafia in there, and they say the bro.
I like that he actually says, "Oh, the Tracksuit Mafia." The what? They're actually called that,
right? Like,
yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Right. Lucky the pizza dog's there. Like,
yeah, like
it just it feels a bit like the comic come to life. It's almost whimsical feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It just so far feels a lot of fun. It all takes place around Christmas time, so it's going to be, a possible like Christmas watch each year, maybe, depending on how it pans out.
Yeah.
We all know, but I'm assuming, and we just raged about fan theories, but Kate's going to move forward and Hawkeye's going to most likely retire.
Yeah.
My hope is that they don't kill him, only because that's going to be the most depressing December 22nd ever before Christmas.
It would be.
To have him die because he didn't make it home for Christmas. So my assumption is he's going to make it home for Christmas and have to leave his bow with Kate kind of idea, right? Like,
yeah, that would make sense.
It's the that'll do pig kind of, you know,
one can hope
right?
We hope that's where it's going,
because you know, because that would be a really, as a really depressing Christmas present from Marvel. Be like, guess what, guys, we made you this
Hawkeye. Hawkeye died.
So, but I think Haley Stafford did a great job.
I was just gonna say, yeah, she's
Bishop so far
because she's so positive.
Yeah.
And also very spunky. I like her spunk.
Delivers the lines really well.
Yeah.
And she looks like the character. And it's like one of the few times that COVID has really helped us.
What do you think of the LARPing scene?
Here, let me just COVID actually helped us because she was originally going to be cast in it, but then she was doing something else, and then
the delay of COVID.
Then they had to delay it because of COVID. So then her schedule cleared up, so then she was able to do the role.
Oh, nice!
So it's like the one
happy accident,
right?
Positive.
The LARPing scene was hilarious.
Yeah,
I think that was pretty fun to see that and to show it in a different way too, right?
I was kind of waiting for him to get into it, but at the same time I kind of liked that he didn't. That it was like, no, this is seriously ridiculous.
Well, it was nice though that he said that it was cool, but this was fun, this was cool, but I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So it wasn't like he had some, I think because the guy followed through on his word.
Yeah.
And he wasn't an ass about it. They was like, no, I just do this, and then here you go, and everything worked out fine. Because they were all very respectful. Mm-hmm. They weren't, so there's no reason for him to really be irritated with it. But at the same time, so it was a good representation of what a reality feel for it, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah, no, I
love how serious they were with all their rules, and he was just like waiting for things to just, well, this is more important. No, this is what's happening. I like how she's like, half of these guys are cops and firefighters. If you're gonna try to break the rules, you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, No, I really liked it. I'm excited for the next episode. Like it'll give Wednesdays a little extra kick to be excited for each week leading up to Christmas. And I think it'll also break up a bit of the normal Christmas routine while having something new that's also, you know, lead up to Christmas, right? Kind of feel, which is exciting.
What day of the week is it dropping?
Wednesdays. Okay. So, yeah. All the way up until the week of Christmas. So.
Oh, nice.
So that's why I said, like,
that's good.
I think it's the 22nd is the Wednesday there.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be like just before Christmas that it ends.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm thrilled.
Oh yeah.
Because Hawkeye is my favorite character from the comics for the Avengers. He has not really been able to really stand out super much, but I did watch the Avengers Legends thing that they have on, the Marvel Legends thing that they have on there. Little like they're like 10-minute like clip shows regarding the characters for the Disney Plus TV stuff. And like you look at that and you really see how much they built Hawkeye to be the heart and soul of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Because he's like the human connection almost more.
Yeah.
Even though Widow is still human, he is still the one that actually has his feet firmly planted on the ground.
Isn't that
because he has a family?
A little bit more of that connection as to, as much as she needed the soul stone, he was the one that actually had to make the sacrifice.
Because he was the true soul of the Avengers.
Exactly. So he had to make that sacrifice in order to get the soul stone. It wasn't that he died. It was because he's the one that had to actually.
Because otherwise their soul would die, right?
Yes,
that idea, like the team soul dies.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Because he had something he was fighting for, right? Versus Widow, she was feeling alone and tired, and you know,
it was more of like I'll make the sacrifice myself and give up, but that she wasn't actually helping the team more than anything. She also wanted a little bit of running away, right?
Yeah,
and letting it go. She was tired fighting.
Anyway, her piece is to give him, and that's why I hope that I assume he's not gonna die.
Yeah,
because then it makes her sacrifice in vain because she sacrifices herself for the hope that he gets his family back to give him peace.
Exactly.
Right.
So and then it was exactly. It would not be what she wanted. She wanted him to be able to go back.
To get out.
You know, and have his family. Because I cannot believe after all of this that his wife is still around, his kids still like him. Like, that would be, it's such a rare thing, right? Through all of that. So,
So I'm
excited for next Wednesday.
It'll be a thrill. So, besides that, we really checked out nothing else.
Yeah, no.
We started watching some Bob's Burgers.
We decorated, Christmas, and it was a lot of that, and building Lego, and Bob's Burgers Christmas, and stuff like that. So
that's one thing I do like about Disney Plus is that they've got a holiday banner on their service where you can go click, and it's got like the Christmas movies, and it's got like Christmas animated, Christmas shorts, and then there's like they've picked out of the seasons and brought them over to this little section where it's like The Simpsons. So it's all the Simpsons Christmas episodes.
That's so
and then
awesome.
it's all the it's called adult animation. So it's Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, and American Dad. All that those ones, Christmas episodes. And then there's like up here in Canada we got Star Plus. So it's all like the ABC like Last Man on Earth and How I Met Your Mother and like those sitcom Christmas episodes. And then they've got Disney Channel stuff, right?
Well, yeah, because it's so awesome rather than being like, okay, so what Bob's Burgers episodes were Christmas? And I have to look them up and find the seasons and
season number, episode number, right?
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I can just look right here, right? Yeah. So this is just so cool.
I wish more streaming would do that.
Yeah.
Like, that would be super cool if Netflix would do that. Because I remember when we were trying to find like Halloween episodes of like The Office and Community, we had to go through
and then sometimes they're hard. You have to read the summary of them for sure, and
because the titles. So that's a cool button to have to go and find it. It just gives you all the holiday episodes. I know that's something that Hulu had, so they learned that from Hulu. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Christmas is on its way. So
I'm going to start digging into that and finding anything else. We're hoping we get to do some Christmas shopping this next weekend. So
if the highways stay open,
reopen from where they are now, and we'll go from there. And so watching might be a little bit more limited because time frames. But
well, we got one movie that we want to watch that showed up on demand. Yeah, Last Night in Soho.
We'll make it a point to see that.
I'm curious to see how this holiday season goes. If we'll be looking at a lot of Christmas movies as our reviews, or if we'll be mixing, so who knows what December has planned for
we'll just see what happens
as it goes, because you know what, you never know what you're gonna get in your cup.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day,
and remember, stay rad, dudes.